For 300 years, it has been a complicated relationship. The Act of Union itself was hardly straightforward. Then there was the Battle of Culloden, the March on the Carron Ironworks, and the early introduction of the poll tax. But as David Cameron is fond of pointing out, there have been ups as well as downs. The Scottish Enlightenment, the growth of the Empire, men from both sides of the border fought at Ypres and Dunkirk.
This is a decision that could break up our family of nations and rip Scotland from the rest of the United Kingdom. Independence would not be a trial separation, it would be a painful divorce.
A 300-mile train ride south from Scotland and you arrive here at King's Cross St Pancras. Politicians in London have become increasingly fond of that kind of language. It's not just independence, it's a break-up, a split-up, the end of a long-term relationship. It's the language mainly of the No camp, but the SNP has also talked about the abusive relationship between England and Scotland. Alex Salmond has said we should be just good friends.
Watching the Prime Minister over the last couple of weeks, first of all, he said, look, if you go, that's it. I'm keeping the house, I'm keeping the car, I'm keeping custody of the children. If you think you can live without me, then you really are very silly. And then he suddenly realised that this partner is still determined to go and may well be leaving. And so at that point, he sort of pulled out the big guns with the I love you so much and please don't go and who will we be without you and how could we ever possibly be apart, you know.
If Scotland votes yes, it will be a huge challenge, just like a marriage breaking up or a family being in dissent is a huge challenge. It's not only a negative challenge though. Even when people are in absolute agony about divorce, there's something interesting or something engaging about there might be something else for me, even if you're the wronged party.
If the vote does go the way of the yes camp, there will then be 18 months of tough negotiations before independence. Again, the language used is the language of a relationship. There is talk of dividing the assets, of sharing custody of military bases.
Who owns the assets? Does Scotland own the oil? If Scotland owns the oil, then who owns the oil rigs? You know, what do we do about the money that was spent developing the oil? Is that UK based or what? What do we do about Dolly the sheep? Was Dolly the sheep a breakthrough for Great Britain, or was it just a breakthrough for Great Scotland?
The symbolism in the last few days of the campaign has been unambiguous. Gordon Brown appeared in front of giant hearts, love-bombing Scottish voters with talk of togetherness. But at the same time, the message from David Cameron in Westminster has been harder. Walk away and there'll be no getting back together.
I think it would have been better to stay away from the humanisation of to have not used words like separation and divorce. But we haven't gone that positive route. It's become D-I-V-O-R-C-E.
Is there a danger here that we have just damaged this relationship forever?
I think it's going to be hard, and I suspect that it's the beginning of a longer process. It really is. It's going to be tough.
I'm going to need some therapy as a country.
Going to need some therapy. Don't know who's up for the job. It's not me.